Previously on For Mother Matron.
Please. Oh. In an instant, Rich was swallowed in the darkness. No, the crowbar! I began to run back, hoping I could pull Rich back in, but I was grabbed by my arm?
Liz!
Oh, grabbed by my arm. Lizzie, I'm sorry, we can't do anything for him now. We have to go.
Long live the king.
Back here? I didn't even fall unconscious this time. Jeez, though. Memories are so vivid. Feels like it's happening all over again. I'm really here. Those aren't memories. Maybe this place is a memory. Or is it a dream? Maybe both are dreams. Or they're both real. Happening at the same time? No idea how that would work. Or I can ponder it further. I mean, if you want to get technical, here'd be a cool idea. One is such a traumatic, like, dream you're having that you make, like, another dream as, like, a coping mechanism. Yeah, kind of like Alice the Madness Returns, but Dreamception.
Have you ever wanted to look through the eyes of others? Once there was a boy named Hector who dreamed of doing that. So he gouged out the eyes of his sister and tried to put them in his own head.
Okay.
It didn't work. All he saw was full dark after that. A shame. A shame.
You should have tried the dog's eyes instead.
Those would have worked better.
Okay.
The messenger knows a better way, though.
Messenger. Suppose that's what it calls itself. Messenger.
The messenger can share the brain signals, the memories. They are not yours, but I'll share them with you. Then you can see, just like Hector wished he could since birth.
Oh. Thing is asking me if I want to see someone else's memories. Accept her offer. Sure. Yeah, I'm already kind of doing that already.
Then you will see with the eyes of another. I shall be your Pythia. I will show you.
Creature walks behind me, palpable excitement in its gait. Slurping increases. The world grows dark again. This time the darkness is seen by eyes foreign to me. Rich tumbles down through the dark maw. Lizzie's cries and wailing of the beast faded in silence as blackness swallowed him. Great, it was gonna be Rich. Fell for what felt like a lifetime. Body being battered by walls of stone and cuts by knives of rock. Rich was certain that this was all leading up to the grand splat which would leave his skull leaking brain juices and blood. A messy and unceremonious end. All that was, and would ever be, of the boy known as Rich, used a puddle of meat, body a buffet of him for maggots. Surprise, however, he landed alive, unconscious for a while, and probably with a few broken bones, but alive. Eventually he came to, slowly rose to his feet, groaning a little.
Where am I?
He tried to look around, but it was all too dark. Sea of ink. Where's Lizzie? Where's Pucks? How long was he unconscious?
Pucks! Lizzie!
Called, but no response. It was all alone, deep in mother knows where. far from home and any sense of comfort and safety. He never had comfort and safety. The only solace he had right now was that, as far as he could tell at least, he was just alone. Beast from above had not followed him. Knowing that was some sort of comfort. As the silence hung in the air, a weight deep in Rich's stomach turned into a solid mass of grief. Warmth in the back of his eyes and then a lump in his throat. Small rivers begin to trickle from the corners of his eyes, and then a dam breaks. And then the lonely boy sobs messily for an inordinate amount of time. Time passes. Eventually, his throat goes raspy and hoarse and his eyes dry. Wipes his face with his sleeve and rubs his eyes. Closure returns. Nothing in his life had ever prepared him for something like this. For all the things he endured in the boarding, they were at least human threats. People were somehow understandable. He had wants and desires that he could reason through eventually. Make sense of the things that happened to him. Moreover, something was to happen to him. Someone would find out. Someone would know. He might be a pain. He might be getting kicked in the balls for his rat witch. Might even get abducted by ACs for interrogation, whatever that entailed. Someone would behold his pain. Someone would recognize that he had in fact existed, and what happened to him would be recognized. Someone would recognize that he had in fact existed, even if their knowledge of him was superficial. Maybe someone would even make a marker for his corpse. At minimum, maybe another slash on a sad tally on a sad chart. It would at least be something to him. Here though, how could he... Here though, he could feel bones in his bones that this was a place of anathemic to life. None would ever find him down here.
I have to find a way out.
A small but bright flame of resolve in his heart, which willed himself forward. For a while, he stumbled through the dark, taking small, tepid little steps to avoid tripping and falling on his face. Mother forbid another hole. He walked for so long, unsure if he even was really going anywhere. Steps echoed and traveled down the cave system. Tried stepping softly at first. Thought of noise attracting something dangerous terrified him. And when nothing came, he transitioned to a brisk walking pace. Where was he even? So much of the cave just looked like a cave. Undistinguishable. Crepuscule was meant to be vast, possibly even endless. There might not even be a way out, he realized. This was going to be it, wasn't it? I'm gonna die here. Scared boy named Rich, who only ever wanted to find friends and love and a roof over his head. Always tried his hardest to be kind to everyone, even when they were not kind to him. But the callus on the working hand, become stronger through the pain. Learn to be immovable. Learn to bear misery and pain without revenge, just like the mother taught. Learn to revel in suffering, so that it may never burn your soul. Yeah, no, my chest was definitely burning earlier when that thing ripped me in half. That was all the small boy simply wished. He wanted to bear the pain in the world so that others may be happier. So mother would be proud of him. But what did it all get him in the end? He did exactly what mother said to do. Or at least as best as he could understand her teachings. He really tried. You're supposed to know the character everyone's heart. Should have known him. Was this punishment? Had he been wrong all along? He really a bad person despite his efforts? Or did Mother simply not care? No. Maybe what he did wasn't enough. Maybe he was physically incapable of being the person that the Mother Matron wanted him to be. Made this way. What did he do wrong? Why was he made so wrong? His cauldron of feelings boiled inside his throat, making his eyes unfocused and his steps become unconscious. That's when he suddenly walked into an obstacle. Ow! Somewhat defied reason. There, inexplicably, was a door built right into the cave wall. Was this? Why didn't he notice it was coming? He was lost in thought, but his vision was dark before. It was like it appeared right in front of him. Couldn't be, though, could it? Rich looked behind him, sure what to do. Did he go through the door? The pure, indescribable blackness provided a compelling argument. Yeah, should I go through the door? Well, there's literally nothing else. It's like not like he had any inclination where he was going anyways. Any direction was good as any other, at least for now. Stanley places his hand on the door. He swallows a hard lump in his throat and breathes. Finally, he pushes the door open and walks inside. Through the door, Rich found another nice living space, by the looks of it. Wooden cabin just in the dark caves. There's a fireplace, crackling with a delightful warmth. Pots and pans and mugs, empty bottle, some full bottles, silverware, a bed in the corner. Very strange. Where did such a thing come from? Someone live down here? How could someone live down here? Moreover, how is it possible that this place seemed better living than any place in the boarding?
What is this place?
Anne touches Rich's shoulder. Oh! Rich jumps a mile in his own skin, whipping around at a fast speed and stepping backwards, fearful of what might be going to of what he was going to face.
Calm thy nerves, boy. Calm thy nerves.
For him was a man? Shaped like a man, but with hard leathery skin, blotched with scabs and slight drizzles of pus. Those are rather fanciful to Rich's eyes. Never had he seen anything quite like it. However, the material was something Rich couldn't not place. Something about it deeply unnerved him. Is it skin? Are we going full Nightwalker? Not Nightwalker, that's a prostitute. Full, Night Lords?
Who are you?
Me? Am I? Myself. Is that not obvious?
Oh boy.
I mean, like, what's your name?
What's in a name? Everything, I suppose. Very well. You may call me Momus.
Momus?
What is your name, boy?
I don't like that's got mom in the name. Man was a strange character to be sure, but seemed nice enough.
My name is Rich.
Rich, eh? Perhaps you can spare some coin.
The man let a raucous laugh. A gaspy bass tone, and it almost shook the room.
I merely jest. I've no for money in this place.
Oh. Do you live here?
Live? No. I merely exist here.
Damn, why does that statement hit so hard? The difference?
Living is a diseased state that consists of pain and an all-encompassing fear of death. And, if you're a mutant of nature, a desperate desire for meaning to be woven from chaos itself. The only things that can be born from chaos are tyrants and horrors incomprehensible. And my mother, I suppose. Same thing.
Your mother. Which cannot help but laugh a little at the absurd joke. It's just, are they joking though? Or does your mother look like a giant penis?
Ah, so the boy can smile.
Almost flashes what Rich assumes to be a smile at him. Subtle on the modeled features of the man's bizarre face. Felt a little guilty for thinking these things. Judging someone based on their appearance wasn't something he was keen to do if he could help it.
Anyways, such things are beyond me. I merely exist now. I stopped living ages ago.
Jesus. Pregnant silence grows in the air. That is a very interesting term to use for the aesthetics of this game. A savory smell of stew crawls up Rich's nostrils. Stomach lets out a loud groan of hunger pangs. Combination of time and stress left his stomach empty and ready to eat itself.
And so the stomach decrees the conversation over. Difficult to argue with the belly. It has no ears, after all. Supper?
Man gets up from his seat and goes to the pot hanging over the hearth fire. He ladles out several scoops of thick stew, filled with hearty chunks and flavorful broth of which couldn't quite tell.
A simple stew. Warms the bones and heals the heart. Thy medicine, as a wise man once put it.
Almost puts the stew on a plate on the table and hands Rich a spoon.
Sure. I guess I could eat.
Rich pauses for a moment, staring at Momus trying to read him. The misshapen man simply nods with a smile. Rich stares for a moment more before finally turning the bowl of stew. Really starving. Carefully spoons out a mouthful of stew, trying to get a little bit of each component to fit just right, until steam crawls towards the ceiling. I'm glad I'm not the only one that does. You gotta get a little bit of everything in the stew for a real good bite. Which blows on his spoon, and carefully sips from it. Perfect temperature. Flavor envelops his tongue warmly and tenderly. A medley of savory flavors. And salt in the back. Delightful crunchiness to the veggies. When was the last time Rich had eaten a vegetable? They're hard to come by sometimes.
It's good.
Oh, that's right, because there's just rats everywhere. Switch flips. Rich begins rapidly spooning mouthfuls of the stuff in his face. And dribbles down his chin and onto his scarf. Loud, happy slurping, like a puppy eating his favorite meal.
A curio, to be sure. A soul such as thine has not been here in a while. Let alone one of your patheticism.
Was that an insult? What was the sudden change in his tone?
What?
Suddenly, Momus throws a bowl of stew across the room, shatters and splatters against the wall in a violent crash.
I'm saying you're pathetic. Are you deaf too? Brain like a mule? Will blubbering those big fat baby tears get you back home?
Just gonna...
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to offend you.
Rich jumps out of his seat, steps backwards for a moment, lets out a shout.
Stop!
He stops dead in his tracks.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
Then, Nightmare unfolds bluntly in front of him.
I'm so sorry. So sorry for being alive. I'll give you anything you want if you leave me alone. My pride, my dignity, everything in my wallet. Take my kidneys. Take it all. I'm worth absolutely nothing at all. I'd be worth more dead than I am alive.
Okay, I didn't trust the guy, but...
No, stop! Stop using my face like that!
Kill him, Rich! You still got the crowbar, right?
Dog brain. The weak one of the litter. One that gets shoved away and pissed on while his brothers and sisters suck on his tits. You felt terrified about being sent down here. But you were also so full of joy.
God, it gave him a purpose.
Could it be that? Even back home, in the place where you belong, no one loves you. No one cares about the weak little mutt. You were enjoying the idea. You thought it'd be like a story. That this would be the miraculous moment you'd make some friends for once. Am I right?
Everything was gonna go right for him. He was gonna be a hero. Everything he went through would have been justified then.
But your friends are gone, aren't they? They watched you fall down into the dark and didn't even bother to try and save you.
The fact that it just kept going is gonna tell me that if I stopped to try and help him, I would have died.
Never.
It reminds me of what people used to do back when I was a small young one. Do you know what my people did with the weak puppies?
Getting him alive?
I left them for carrion. Although, I think your evidence is pretty higher than carrion food. The sister will want you.
Oh boy.
Sister is going to enjoy that delectable suffering inside you. Your eyes look scrumptious, though. I'll enjoy those. I'll dance them all until my grapes.
Kill him, Rich. You got this. Kill him.
Between my teeth.
You got this, Rich. Kill him.
No! Get away from me!
Kill him. Rich ran to the exit, but the door was closed and locked behind him. Grab something. Grab it like a frying pan. Samwise his ass. He bashes and bangs on the door, but he can't escape. Oh. Memory cuts off suddenly. Gasping for air. Terror and fear flowing through my veins. Rich's terror and fear. What? Before I had time to process it, the messenger's back behind me, fiddling around again. Sounds like she's moving a cable, plugging something in. Slurping sound grows faster. World fades again. I don't know how long we ran for. Eventually, horrible cacophony behind us gave way to silence. Yes! Yes! Yes, I have achieved Nirvana! I've gotten a few ideas for this. You know, things don't work out.
No. No, don't finish that statement, please.